So I want you to picture a scenario for a second. It's late, right? Maybe 11:30 at night.
Yep, I'm there.
You're lying on the couch, the room is totally dark, and you've just got that, that cold blue light from your phone lighting up your face.
The endless scroll.
The endless scroll. You're in the rhythm, thumb goes up, thumb goes up. You see a cat video, a political meme, a recipe you are absolutely never going to cook.
Right.
It's hypnotic. And then, without any warning swish, a post just slides into view. A black and white photo, a name, a date.
And just like that, the rhythm just, it breaks.
It's a physical feeling, isn't it? It's not just an idea like, oh, that's sad. It's a stomach drop, a glitch in the matrix. Someone's died. Maybe it's a celebrity you grew up with, maybe a friend from high school you haven't talked to in 10 years. And for just a second, you freeze. The source material calls this the 2-second pause.
And that pause is probably the most honest moment of your entire day.
But here's the thing, and I think everyone listening knows exactly this feeling. What do we do immediately after that 2-second pause?
You scroll.
We scroll. We literally push the death off the screen with our thumb and go hunting for a dopamine hit to, wash the taste out of our mouths.
It's a reflex, and what's so fascinating about the research we're diving into today is that it argues that scroll isn't just like a bad habit. It's a tiny model of how our entire modern world is structured.
So we aren't just scrolling past a post.
We are scrolling past the reality of our own expiration date.
That is a heavy claim. We've got a whole stack of notes here, articles, some philosophical essays, a few psychological studies, and they all seem to be pointing to one conclusion. We have built a world designed to make us forget we're going to die.
And not just forget the event itself, but to forget the feeling of it, the feeling of being finite.
Right, so the mission for this deep dive is to figure out how we do that, the mechanics of the hiding, and then, maybe more importantly, to ask what it's costing us.
Because the argument here is that by hiding from death, we might be accidentally hiding from life itself.
So let's start with the basics, the language we use. I was reading through the notes on Martin Heidegger, and I'll be honest, the philosophy is, well, it's dense.
Oh, absolutely. Very dense.
But his point about grammar is surprisingly practical.
Yeah.
He talks about the difference between them and I.
Right, this is his concept of Das Man, which sounds academic, but it really just translates to the they or the one.
The they.
Yeah. Heidegger argues that for most of our lives, we don't really exist as authentic individuals. We exist as a generic they. We do what one does. One gets a job. One buys a house.
It's the default setting. It's
Yeah.
safe. But how does that connect to death?
Well, think about how you talk about death at a dinner party. If you even talk about it at all, you say, people die, or humans are mortal.
Yeah, it's an objective fact, like saying water boils at 100 degrees. It happens out there, to them.
Exactly, it's a statistic. Tragic, but distant. Now try to change the grammar. Just sit in a quiet room and say out loud, I will die.
I actually tried this before we started recording. It feels wrong. It feels aggressive, almost.
Yep. It feels aggressive because it pierces that safety bubble. When you say, I will die, you're not stating a statistic anymore. You're setting a deadline. And that is incredibly disruptive to the whole modern story we tell ourselves.
Disruptive is, putting it mildly. If I truly, deeply internalize I will die, then suddenly my 5-year plan seems a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
The quarterly review I'm stressing about seems absurd.
That's the danger. That's why we stick to them. Because if you really sit with that I will die thought, the whole machinery of your life starts to grind and squeak. You start asking really dangerous questions.
Why am I even doing this job?
Why am I in this relationship?
Why do I care what my neighbor thinks about my car?
Exactly. So staying in the they, that generic mode, is basically a defense mechanism to keep the economy of our personal lives running smoothly.
We protect our story by just ignoring the ending.
Precisely. But the sources go deeper than just language. They argue this isn't just a social habit. It might be, in a way, a biological necessity.
Okay, this is the part that made me feel a little better about my own avoidance. The section on the brain's wiring.
Okay.
It basically suggests we literally can't handle the truth, 2257.
There's a strong argument for that. I mean, imagine if you were hyper-aware every single second of every day that you and everyone you love is just walking toward a cliff edge that drops off into nothing.
You'd be paralyzed. You wouldn't be able to buy groceries or answer emails. You'd probably just scream.
You'd be catatonic. So the brain has, it seems, evolved a kind of filter. It blurs the reality of death. It pushes it into this abstract category of things that happen later.
Lets us function.
It lets us function, but Ernest Becker, who wrote The Denial of Death, He takes it a step further. He says it's not just a filter in our brains, it's the entire project of civilization.
This is the immortality project idea, right?
Yeah.
When I first heard that term, I immediately thought of like pharaohs building pyramids.
Right.
But Becker is saying we're all doing it, even if we're just middle managers.
We are all pharaohs in our own small way. An immortality project is anything you build or do that you hope will outlast you. It's a bid for symbolic immortality since we can't have the biological kind.
So, writing a book,
Immortality project.
building a company.
Immortality project.
What about just raising good kids?
The ultimate immortality project. I will live on through them. And to be clear, Becker isn't saying these are bad things, not at all. These projects give us art, science, cities, culture.
But they're fueled by terror.
They're fueled by a deep terror. We are all frantically stacking bricks to build a wall against the silence.
And speaking of silence, this part of the research really hit me hard. It says that we are more afraid of silence than we are of death itself.
Because silence is the doorway to the realization. When the noise stops, when the podcast ends, when the notifications stop pinging, what's left?
Just you and the ticking clock.
Exactly. The existential sinkhole, as one source puts it, opens up. And that's why we see this desperate need for constant input in modern life. It's not just that we love content, it's that we are terrified of the gap.
Oh, I'm so guilty of this. If I'm in an elevator for 3 floors, the phone comes out. If I'm brushing my teeth, a podcast is on. I'm basically mainlining noise just to avoid having a single thought.
We treat silence like a vacuum that has to be filled instantly, and technology is the perfect filler. A screen lighting up is a little promise. Don't worry, here is a distraction. You don't have to look at the abyss right now. Look at this cat instead.
So we've got the internal wiring and we've got the technological distraction. But the sources also map out this big historical shift that I think explains why this feels so unique to us right now. Death used to be, well, it used to be in the living room.
It really did. The historian Philippe Arias talks about this shift from tamed death to forbidden death. If you go back a few hundred years, you didn't die in some sanitized room with beeping machines.
You died at home.
You died at home. And the kids were there, the neighbors were there, the windows were open. You saw the body, you saw the process. Death was just woven into the fabric of daily life.
It was just the final season of the show.
Exactly. And now...
Now it's hidden. It's professionalized. It happens behind a curtain in a specialized building, managed by experts.
We've turned death from a natural, expected event into a technical failure.
That's such a fascinating way to put it. A technical failure.
Yeah.
Like, if someone dies, it's because the doctors didn't fix the problem, not because they were a human being whose time was up.
We view it as a medical issue to be solved. We get so proud of our life expectancy stats. Look, we're living to 85, but we've stripped the event of its existential power. We've pushed it to the periphery.
So it only shows up in emergencies, and then we rush to fix it so we can get back to the rat race.
Which creates this powerful illusion of control.
Right. I have health insurance, I eat kale, I have a retirement fund, therefore I am in control of the timeline.
But you're not, and deep down, everyone knows they're not. That's where the anxiety comes from. We're building these incredible castles on sand and spending a fortune on sand insurance.
So what's the cost? Let's say I buy into the illusion, I live as them. I distract myself with my immortality projects. I avoid the silence. I treat death as a medical glitch. What am I losing?
You lose the weight of your life.
The weight? What do you mean?
Well, think about it like inflation. If you print infinite money, the value of a single dollar drops to zero, right?
Right.
If you live as if you have infinite time because you refuse to look at the end, the value of a single day drops to almost nothing. You can waste it. You can spend it doing a job you hate. You can hold a grudge. Why not?
There's like always tomorrow.
There's always tomorrow. And this connects to that checklist life concept in the notes. You're just living on autopilot.
Just ticking the boxes.
Yep.
School, job, promotion, house.
Retirement, death. You don't make active choices because you don't feel the pressure of the deadline. Albert Camus wrote about this, the absurdity of it all. If you really face death, you'd be forced to ask, is any of this meaningful? And society hates that question.
Because if everyone stopped tomorrow and asked, is this spreadsheet meaningful? The global economy might just collapse by Tuesday.
Exactly. The machinery relies on us not asking that question. It relies on us all assuming we have later.
Later. That's the most dangerous word in the English language, according to these sources.
It really is. I'll write the book later. I'll forgive my brother later. I'll travel later. We tolerate jobs we despise, and we delay happiness because we're banking on a future that is absolutely not guaranteed.
The sources give two really concrete examples of how this plays out, and I want to walk through them because they stung a little. The first one is the career grind.
Yes. This is the person who is actively trading their present moment life for some future payoff.
The once I hit this net worth, then I'll start living person.
Or just 2 more years of this misery and then I'll be free. It's a contract with the future.
But the future hasn't signed it.
And that's the tragedy. They are trading a finite, precious resource, their time, for an infinite one, like money or status. If they truly acknowledge that they could have a stroke next Tuesday, the trade would look insane.
But because we hide from death, the trade looks responsible.
The second example is the grieving family. And I've seen this happen. It's almost spooky how predictable it is.
It's a very common pattern. A family loses someone, a grandmother, a father, and for a week, maybe a month, the veil is lifted, all the pettiness just vanishes.
Right. You're at the funeral and you're hugging your cousin. You're thinking, why do we ever fight about politics? This is all that matters. Love is all that matters.
And you mean it.
Yes.
You are authentically in the I mode. You are facing reality, but then what happens?
The cement dries.
The cement dries.
The sedation by triviality, as one writer called it, kicks back in. 3 weeks later, you're screaming at customer service because your internet is slow. You're back to holding grudges. You're back to them.
It's terrifying how fast the system resets us. It's like gravity. It just pulls us back down into the trivial because living in that high stakes, high love state it's exhausting.
It is exhausting. It takes real courage. Being toward death, which is Heidegger's term for this, isn't about being depressed. It's about being awake. And it is so hard to stay awake in a world that is designed to put you to sleep.
Okay, so let's talk about how to wake up. We've diagnosed the problem, and honestly, it's a little bleak. But the sources do offer some strategies. They call it being toward death. But maybe we can just call it how to stop sleepwalking.
I like that better.
So the first strategy is the silent sit.
The instruction is incredibly simple, but the execution is brutal. You just sit alone, no phone, no music, and you simply admit the sentence, I will die. And you let the physical sensation of that thought just wash over you.
I mentioned I tried this. I sat in my car in the driveway, and I have to say, it was not some Zen moment of clarity. It was panic. I immediately wanted to turn the radio on.
That panic is the withdrawal symptom. You're withdrawing from the drug of distraction. The goal isn't to fix the panic, it's to build a tolerance to it, to sit with that cold feeling until you realize that knowing you will die actually makes the sandwich you're about to eat taste better.
It provides the contrast.
Yeah.
Without the dark, you can't see the light.
Exactly. It clears the fog. If you do that practice, even for 5 minutes, and then you walk back into your house, you look at your family differently, you look at your problems differently, you ask, does this matter? And the answer is usually no.
Strategy number 2 is the postpone list. This one feels a bit more actionable.
Yeah, this is a great clarity exercise. Write down 3 things you are doing only because you assume you have endless time. Maybe it's a career path you hate, but it feels safe. Maybe it's staying in a dead-end relationship because you don't want the hassle of a breakup.
And then the flip side of that, what are you not doing because you think you have time?
Right. If you knew the deadline was 1 year from today, would you still be doing the things on that list? If the answer is no, then you are living a lie. You're living on a gamble.
That cuts deep. It really forces you to look at your calendar and just ask how much of this is bullshit.
And most of us will find that maybe 80% of it is. That's the existential cost we talked about earlier.
The third strategy brings in a little bit of stoicism. It's about control.
The Stoics were absolute masters of this. They argued that you cannot control the length of the play. The script is already written in terms of your mortality. You leave the stage.
But you can control the performance.
You can control the performance. So instead of obsessing over when the curtain falls, you focus on how you say your lines right now.
You focus on dignity, on authenticity, on presence.
Yes. You can't stop the train, but you can choose how you sit in your seat. Are you looking out the window, appreciating the view? Or are you just staring at your phone, worrying about the final destination?
It reminds me of that last day of vacation feeling. You know that feeling?
Oh, absolutely.
You're at the beach, you have to fly home tomorrow, and suddenly the sunset looks incredible. Cheap wine tastes like nectar. You're just soaking it all in because you know it's ending.
That is the perfect analogy. Being toward death is just treating your entire life like the last day of the vacation. Not in a reckless way. You're not going to burn down the hotel, but in an attentive way. You stop taking the view for granted.
So if we pull this all together, we have a society that hides death to keep us productive. We have brains that hide death to keep us sane. But the argument here is that we have to at least sometimes peek behind the curtain.
We have to. If we don't, we risk getting to the very end and realizing we never actually started.
I want to leave the listener with one last thought experiment from the notes. It's a kind of filter for decision-making.
The last day filter.
Right. Just imagine this is it, the end of the line. Looking back at your week or your month, are you using all this noise to hide from yourself?
Are you scrolling and working and stressing over things because they truly matter to you? Or are you just doing it because it's a convenient shield against the silence?
It's a question that might ruin your day.
But it might save your life.
That is the takeaway right there. This has been a heavy one, but I think a really necessary one. We hope this deep dive helps you feel the weight of your time in a good way.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time.